I'm Callum, 27, a line supervisor at a mid-sized warehouse supply company in the Midwest. I don't start drama, I keep my head down, work hard, steer clear of office politics. But when management threw me under the bus for something I couldn't control, they didn't know I held their dirty secrets. Once they crossed me, I stopped being quiet. It was a Tuesday, air heavy with cardboard and sweat smells. My car wouldn't start, battery dead from a cold snap. Our town's buses run like a bad joke, so I called my manager, Haley. "I'll be 2 hours late," I said, explaining. She cut me off, "Don't bother. If you can't commit, this isn't your place." Her words hit like a brick to the chest. Commit? I'd trained newbies for free, covered shifts, fixed her errors. Rain pounded my windows at home, matching the storm inside me. 3 years of loyalty, trashed over one bad morning. I didn't cry or yell. Instead, a fire lit. Haley thought she'd buried me. Wrong. I'd dig up her secrets and watch her world burn. Next morning, I walked into the warehouse, air thick with tension. A termination letter was taped to my locker, bold print screaming, "Effective immediately." Heart pounding, I ripped it open. It cited, "Failure to meet attendance expectations." Stapled behind was Haley's complaint, time-stamped when I'd called her. She twisted my plea into, "unreliable, insubordinate." My stomach churned, she'd planned this, waiting for any misstep. Co-workers shuffled boxes, avoiding my eyes, but Nora, a 5-year vet, gave a look that said this wasn't fair. The pain stung, like being blamed for a crime I didn't commit. I grabbed my jacket, forcing a nod to the crew. Whispers trailed, "Haley's on a rampage." My hands shook as I left, but anger brewed beneath. This wasn't just a firing, it was betrayal. At home, I reread her complaint, each word a knife. She thought I'd slink away. No chance. I'd find her weak spot and make her regret it. In the breakroom, grabbing my last coffee, a few guys from my shift followed. Nora leaned close, voice low, "You're not the first. Haley targets anyone who knows too much." My pulse spiked, what did she mean? "Inventory stuff," she whispered, eyes darting. "Dig, but don't tell her I spoke." Her words sent a chill, like stumbling on a secret in a quiet town. The pain of being fired mixed with curiosity, was this bigger than me? The breakroom stale donut smell felt familiar, like our endless gripe sessions. I nodded, pocketing her tip. Haley thought she'd silenced me, but she'd handed me a thread to pull. At home, I replayed her call, agitation growing like a storm cloud. 3 years of sweat, dismissed. No way. I'd dig into this inventory stuff. Her mistake was thinking I'd stay quiet. The whisper network was my first weapon, and I was ready to listen. Cleaning my locker, my fingers brushed a cold, small black USB drive wedged in the back. Not mine. A tag read, "For Callum, if it comes to this." My heart raced, was this a prank? The handwriting looked like Earl's, the night shift guard. I pocketed it, mind spinning. At home, I plugged it in. Spreadsheets loaded, inventory logs, shipments, returns, labeled with dates and initials. The pain of my firing faded to suspense. What was this? Numbers didn't add up, like a puzzle missing pieces. Who left it? Why me? I backed it up twice, hands trembling. This wasn't random, it was a trail. If real, Haley's attendance excuse was a cover for something bigger. The drive felt like a grenade in my palm. I sat in my dim apartment, rain tapping outside. Someone trusted me with this. I'd follow the trail, no matter where it led. Haley's move just armed me. Just before you continue to watch, please subscribe to this channel and like this video. It would encourage and help us keep creating amazing content for you. Alright, back to the story. The spreadsheets showed pallets written off as damaged, then resold days later at discount. Totals off by thousands. Initials HL, Haley Low, approved most. My chest tightened. Was she stealing, flipping stock on the side? The pain of her betrayal burned hotter. Fired over a shift while she ran scams. It was like catching a thief framing you for their crime. I cross-checked dates, matched busy shifts when we'd lose pallets. This wasn't small, it was organized. If I proved it, her firing me would be her downfall. I saved screenshots, hid the drive in my safe. Suspense grew, who else knew? The agitation fueled me. 3 years of loyalty, and she played me for a fool. No more. This USB was my ace, but using it wrong could blow up in my face. I'd wait, plan, strike smart. I texted Nora after dark, hinting at the USB without details. She called, voice shaky. Earl left it. He saw too much. She confirmed pallets vanished monthly, higher-ups ignored it. They don't care if numbers look clean, she said. My hands shook. Haley led a scheme, and I held proof. Nora warned, people who talk get cut from schedules. The threat felt like a cold hand on my neck, like a movie where the hero's in too deep. The pain of being discarded mixed with fear. Was I next? But resolve hardened. I noted her words, backed up files. This wasn't just revenge, it was exposing a lie. Relatable to anyone screwed over by a boss, I felt the weight of her warning. Haley crossed the wrong guy. I'd make sure her secrets saw daylight. Instead of storming the warehouse, I went online. Posted anonymously on Reddit's worker forum, mystery stock vanishing at Midwest warehouse, anyone else? Replies exploded, similar stories from nearby facilities. Inside job, one wrote. Same at my plant. Suspense built like a storm. It wasn't just us, a network of thefts. The pain of my firing felt shared, like workers everywhere cheated by greed. I gathered usernames, cross-referenced stories. Hashtags like #warehouse theft spread fast. The company had to notice. My post was a seed, sprouting chaos. Haley thought I was gone, I was planting a rebellion. At night, I checked the thread, hundreds of comments. My apartment's dim light felt like a hideout. The agitation turned to power. I wasn't alone. This was bigger than one shift. At a diner near the warehouse, I ran into Earl, the old guard. He shook his head. They got you too. Over coffee, he spilled, midnight trucks, no paperwork, leaving half empty. Reported to Haley, got reassigned to a cameraless gate. They know what they're doing, he growled. His story matched the USB. Pain hit, he'd left it, trusting me. Like an old-timer silenced in a small town, relatable to anyone ignored. Earl warned, don't go alone. Suspense thickened, I had proof, needed action. His words fueled me, like a mentor passing a torch. Haley's web was wide, I'd unravel it. I noted his story, backed up. The diner's neon buzzed, mirroring my nerves. This was war, and I had allies. Haley's mistake was thinking I'd stay quiet. I set up a fake Gmail, emailed Haley as a buyer, heard about off-books pallets, interested. She replied fast, cautious, who gave you this contact? Not a denial, jackpot. Heart pounded, she was in deep. The pain of her firing me burned, stealing while framing me. Like catching a cheater red-handed, relatable thrill. I screenshotted her reply, saved it thrice. Suspense spiked, what if she traced me? But her words were gold, proof of guilt. My apartment felt like a war room, files piling up. The agitation fueled strategy. She thought I was nobody, now I held her secret. I'd bait her again if needed, but this was enough to start. Her move was my weapon. At the unemployment office, I met Tomas, ex-logistics from my company. Mentioned my firing, he sighed, they got me for misconduct, really, flagged bad shipments. I showed USB data, he nearly dropped his coffee. Not just Haley, higher-ups. She's the funnel. An ally formed, like war buddies sharing scars. Pain bonded us, both discarded. Relatable to anyone betrayed by a job. Tomas promised shipment logs from his IT friend. This wasn't revenge anymore, exposing a system. Suspense grew. How high did it go? I backed up everything, files locked tight. My small apartment glowed with laptop light, like a detective's den. Haley's fire was spreading, and I was fanning the flames. Tomas's nod sealed our pact. Tomas's IT friend sent archived logs, 2 years of shipments, mismatches galore. Initials across branches, millions lost. My chest tightened, a criminal empire in warehouses, hiding in plain sight. Pain surged, small thefts. No, massive fraud. Like finding mobsters in your quiet town, relatable shock. I organized data, patterns screaming guilt. Who ran it? Higher than Haley. Suspense built. I was one guy with a laptop, holding dynamite. If leaked, chaos. Files secured in my safe, I felt the weight. Digging deeper meant danger, but no retreat. My room's dim light flickered as I worked late. The USB's trail led to a network. Haley's firing me was just the spark, I'd burn the whole scheme down. Late night, my phone buzzed, private number. A voice growled, "Stop asking questions. Nobody believes you." I froze. How'd they know? My heart raced like a trapped animal's. Pain spiked with fear, watched. Like a movie where shadows tail the hero, relatable paranoia. But it fueled me, they were scared. I was close. I noted call time, voice details in my files. Suspense thickened. Haley. Higher. Instead of quitting, I doubled down. The threat meant I'd hit a nerve. My apartment felt smaller, windows dark. I checked locks, saved files again. This wasn't just my fight anymore, it was for everyone they'd screwed. Game on. I contacted Maribel, a local journalist known for exposés. She was skeptical, tips need hard proof. I handed her a duplicate USB, her eyes widened. If real, this topples supply chains, she whispered, promising to dig. Stay low. An ally in the press, suspense soared. Pain eased, not alone. Like a whistleblower finding a megaphone, relatable hope. Maribel's nod validated my fight. Haley's world teetered, one push, it'd fall. I backed up files again, heart pounding. My small-town grit kicked in, truth over fear. The coffee shop where we met buzzed, masking our talk. I was in deep, but her promise kept me steady. Haley's secrets were about to see daylight. Late, I drove past the warehouse. Dark lot, one truck at the dock, lights off. Men in unmarked vests moved boxes fast, no plates visible. I parked far, watching, pulse hammering. Proof the scheme was active. Pain burned, stealing after firing me. Like thieves robbing your house again, relatable rage. Filming was risky, I'd be a ghost if caught. I drove off, teeth clenched. But the sighting matched my data, strengthening my case. Suspense grew, act now. Maribel needed more. My car's engine hummed as I planned. The warehouse's dark silhouette faded in my mirror, but its secret stayed with me. With Maribel digging, I leaked bits online, anonymously. Twitter threads on shortages, TikTok workers venting. Hashtag warehouse leaks trended fast, stories pouring in from other plants. Suspense exploded as the movement grew. Pain shared, we were all cheated. Like workers uniting against a scam, relatable fire. The company panicked, leaked memos denied everything. But the internet roared louder. My seed sprouted chaos, just as planned. My laptop glowed in my dim room, comments flooding. Haley's name surfaced in threads, linked to missing stock. I smiled, she felt the heat. Corporate emailed, post-termination review. Trap. I went, curiosity winning. They offered a settlement for an NDA. Sign, move on, HR said, eyes nervous. I smiled, declined. Their sweat screamed fear, knew I had something. Pain turned power, they needed my silence. Like staring down a bully, relatable standoff. I left without signing, their faces pale. My files were safe, proof mounting. Suspense spiked, what next? They'd underestimated me, thinking I'd fold. My truck rumbled home, rain streaking the windshield. Haley's world was cracking, and I held the hammer. The game was mine now. Nora called, voice breaking, they're questioning everyone about you. Shredding documents. She feared losing her job but whispered, your work's hitting them hard. Guilt stung, she was at risk because of me. But her words confirmed, I was shaking them. Pain mixed with thrill, like a rebel outsmarting the system. I noted her warning, backed up files. Time was tight, evidence vanishing. Suspense grew, would Maribel act fast enough? My apartment's quiet felt heavy, like a hideout before a raid. Nora's fear fueled me. I'd protect her by pushing harder. Haley's end was near. Met Maribel in a packed coffee shop. Handed her the original USB. If anything happens, run it, I said. She nodded, you won't vanish quietly. Suspense peaked, stakes life or death high. Pain of isolation eased, ally locked in. Like passing a baton in a race, relatable trust. Maribel's promise was my shield. My fight was her story now. Haley's net tightened, but I was slipping through. The shop's chatter hid our words. My hands shook, but resolve held. The USB was my bomb, Maribel, the fuse. We were ready to blow it wide open. Restructuring hit, half the staff laid off, including Nora. Corporate called it streamlining, workers knew, damage control. DMs flooded, tell the story. Pressure weighed heavy, I couldn't wait. Pain for Nora stung, like losing a friend to the same enemy. Relatable chaos, jobs cut to hide crimes. I pushed Maribel, we're close. My files grew, coworker stories, more logs. Suspense built, evidence enough. My apartment felt like a war room, laptop humming. The layoffs weren't random, they were panic. My firing sparked this avalanche, and it was rolling fast. Maribel's article dropped, millions stolen, warehouse black market. Went viral overnight, local news, then national. My phone exploded with messages. Suspense burst like a dam. Pain turned vindication, truth out. Like a bomb exposing corruption, relatable explosion. Managers scrambled, headlines screamed. Haley's name was everywhere, linked to thefts. I watched from my couch, satisfied but tense, what next? The internet roared, comments demanding justice. My small-town fight hit the world stage. Haley's empire was crumbling, and I'd lit the fuse. Corporate statement blamed rogue employees, pinning Haley as sole culprit. Cooperating with authorities, they lied. Internet scoffed, systemic. Pain eased, they couldn't fool the world. Like a crowd calling out a cheater, relatable skepticism. Haley took the fall, but I knew she wasn't alone. Higher-ups were sweating. Suspense lingered, would she talk? My phone buzzed with coworker texts, you did this. I smiled, but unease crept in. The fight wasn't over, bigger heads might roll. Photos hit online, Haley in handcuffs, let out. Texts flooded, she's done. But unease hit, what if she spilled on higher-ups? Pain twisted, justice, but not complete. Like catching one crook while bosses hide, relatable tension. Her arrest was my spark's result. Suspense grew, would she turn? My apartment's quiet felt like the calm before a storm. I checked files, ready for more. Haley's fall was just the start, the real bosses were next. I waited, eyes on the news. Class action lawsuit filed for wrongful terminations, my name listed as whistleblower. Shock hit, lawyers offered protection, compensation. My role shifted, not just revenge, reform. Like a nobody sparking history, relatable rise. I cooperated, shared files. Suspense pulsed, could we topple the rest? The company wobbled, lawsuits piling. My small-town heart swelled, this was for Nora, Tomas, Earl. My firing lit the flame, now it burned bright. I wasn't alone anymore. Months later, contracts cancelled, suppliers bailed, stock crashed. Branches closed, the warehouse sat dark, gates chained, logo peeling. Pain turned closure, empire dust. Like watching a bully's house burn, relatable irony. I drove past, windows black. My spark ended a giant. Suspense faded, victory mine. The hollow lot mirrored my relief. News called it a cautionary tale. My fight reshaped an industry. Haley's mistake was firing me, I buried her world. Typing this, I admit, it started as revenge. Wanted Haley to feel my pain, fired over one shift. But it grew bigger, for Nora, Tomas, all crushed by greed. Losing that job was my spark. Haley's court confession sealed it, named higher-ups. Like an underdog toppling giants, relatable win. I'm free now, company ashes. My small-town grit won. The warehouse is gone, but I'm just starting. Justice wasn't the goal, it was the result. If you enjoyed this story, make sure to like this video, comment, and smash the subscribe button. Also check out other videos on the channel, we've got more interesting stories for you.